women working. This was my comment on women, in the workforce. The main reason that so many women entered the workforce during the 1970s was inflation eroded away the value of their husband's paychecks. And so because inflation caused the husband's paycheck to lose so much purchasing power, his wife had to get a job to make up the difference. Now, part of it was also rising taxes. There was a lot of bracket creep during the 70s where inflation pushed people into higher brackets. But it's not like, women were just all liberated and all wanted to work. They were liberated when they didn't have to work. They got forced to work because it was the only way to pay the bills. Now, the comment I made, wanted to work. They were liberated when they didn't have to work. They got forced to work because it was the only way to pay the bills. Now, the comment I made more recently, wanted to work. They were liberated when they didn't have to work. They got forced to work because it was the only way to pay the bills. Now, the comment I made more recently is that's how difference. Now, part of it was also rising taxes. There was a lot of bracket creep during the 70s where inflation pushed people into higher brackets. But it's not like, women were just all liberated and all wanted to work. They were liberated when they didn't have to work. They got forced to work because it was the only way to pay the bills. Now, the comment I made more recently is that's how we basically got through that time period. We had a spare laborer. We had somebody who could come off the bench onto the field and help out. And that's how families were able to survive because they now had a second breadwinner. But now you don't have that because most families, the husband and wife already work. So what are people doing now? How are people surviving this inflation? Well, look at the jobs reports that we get every month. We have all these jobs that are being created, 200,000, 300,000. What they don't tell you is these are all part-time jobs. We are net losing full-time jobs, and they're going to people who already have jobs. So people are working second and third jobs. Moonlighting is at an all-time high in America because that's the only way that people can pay the rent or put food on the table. People don't want these jobs. The creation of these jobs is not a good sign. It's a bad sign. It's not a sign of a strong labor market. It's a weak labor market. In a strong labor market, you can make it on one job. In a weak labor market, you need 2 or 3 jobs. And that's what's going on.
Tom, the Fred data, Fred, and I'm speaking.
That was a great example right there. That's from the PBD podcast. We're going to leave the link down below. Give credit when credit's due, right? Fair Use Act. Now, that was a Peter Schiff or Schoof. I don't know how to announce his last name. My bad if I butchered your name. It's SSCHIFF. It's SCHIFF. He made a great point. He's an economist, but let me know what y'all think, right? With all this hype about being independent, ladies, and having your own job, own house, own car, own this, own that, right? Do you know that you're thinking that you're independent, you're actually more dependent than ever before? See, I agree with his point of view. Back in the days when a lady did stay in a house and stuff like that, they were more liberated than ever before. Now they have to do what their husband or guy friend or boyfriend or XYZ is doing, right? They have just walked back onto the plantation, if you ask me. Smash that like button if you agree. But yet they're screaming out all of these independent woman, boss chick, this, that, the third. Okay, that's great and all, right? But like he said, what y'all think caused the woman to go back to work? Inflation, right? Taxes, or the need to help the husband out so she will have a place to stay. I think nowadays with all of these extremities, there's no more room to grow. So something has to change because the woman is already at work, the man is already at work, and I agree with Peter. The man is already at work, the woman is already at work. What else is next? They can only go but so far. Okay, you pick up another job. That's 2 jobs, which means that's 2 part-time. Insurance companies aren't paying for health insurance if it's not full-time. Therefore, that goes to show you that the labor market that we have in the United States is absolutely weak. So my solution is this, and this is what I'm offering, right? And then smash that like button if you agree to this. We have to work together now better than we ever did before. Let me repeat. We have to work together better now than we ever did before because the cards are stacked against you. No matter who you are, no matter rich, broke, poor, anything in between, it don't matter who you are. You have to work together harder than before. Because if you don't, right? The signs, the indicators, the economical downfall is going to happen. Now, some people use this as an opportunity because someone else's trash can be someone else's treasure. We're not going to say it's a doom and gloom, boom, the world is over. We don't preach fear over here, right? We just want to make sure that you are aware, maybe put yourself in the correct position to maybe accumulate when someone wants to sell something of value. Not financial advice, but that's how you get value out of something. You buy low, right? So let me know what you think about the current state of the U.S. economy. Is this a good thing? Is this a bad thing? How would it affect the future generations, right? If we're having a labor crisis, now it all makes sense on why they're doing this illegal migration thing. But when they get here, they're going to find out that inflation and taxes are so high that they part-time ain't making no sense. Unless you're doing what? Group economics. And if you're doing group economics and it's 5 of y'all in one household making $15 a piece, right? And y'all go to work every day from one part-time to another part-time and may pay you $16 and y'all put all y'all money in one pot, do the bill, split it up and share and stuff like that, it could work all day long. I think the solution to this would be numbers. So you had a man and a woman making sure that everything was straight. Now you may need a man and a woman and maybe the kids working at the same time, or a man and a woman and maybe the grandparents can't work. So it has to be either you gain new education, new skill sets that allow you to then maybe go into the job force, but then you're going into the labor market for them to what? Pay you less than what you deserve and or, so that's a big risk. There's no such thing as what? Job security. So that's a big risk, So I think the power in order to beat this system with inflation, taxes, and everything else, and no one wants to give out insurance, and anything along that nature. Look at Florida, right? The solution is numbers, which means that we must work together better than we ever did before. On that note, peace, blessings, and love. Let me know what you think about the current state of the economy. Is this a good sign? Is this a bad sign? Or just let me know. Leave your thoughts down below. Smash that like button. Tell a friend and tell a friend. This is the beginning. This is not the end. On that note, peace, blessings, and love. And remember, remain strong.